Good afternoon. As America withdraws its troops to strengthen homeland defense, our own nation now takes the rightful path to lead the world against terrorism. In a televised address, our premier again denied involvement with GLA hoodlums and condemned their use of stolen Chinese armament against our great ally. The premier's military commanders have pledged to repel the GLA from former American bases in Europe. China will not allow continued GLA control of advanced U.S. military hardware. Our opinion polls show majority of citizens support the premier and ask for swift retribution. From our post in Germany, this is Sang Meiying, Beijing World News. An overwhelming defeat at the hands of our brave troops has sent stunned GLA soldiers underground. In response to new threats by the remaining terrorist command, our homeland security has been tightened. The premier wishes to assure citizens that the GLA will not be permitted to infiltrate our nation as it did America. Reports from our cities confirm our people stand calm and ready for any situation. Sang Meiying reporting from our Middle East news desk. In response to the GLA's failed desperate attempt to force a nuclear stalemate, the premier was called to the European Security Council's Defense Summit. With full support of the Council, China's armed forces have been honored with the task of driving GLA forces from Europe's cities and re-establishing order. Meanwhile, the premier assured the United Nations that China regrets the unavoidable use of nuclear arms to break the latest GLA offensive and will use restraint in future confrontations. With our European Army Division, I'm Sang Meiying. Our victorious forces continue their liberation of Europe's cities, sweeping the GLA from the streets. In today's Security Council session, the premier humbly accepted the world's gratitude, but cautioned that the GLA should be hunted down to the last soldier. This is a wounded animal, declared our leader, but it must not find a cave where it might gather back its strength. The USA now chooses to concentrate on her own borders, but China is here to help our European comrades. Our new allies agreed with the premier's strategy, and our military has launched new aggressive campaigns against the terrorists. This is Sang Meiying reporting. Statements of support from Europe's capitals flow to the premier's desk as gathered GLA units are destroyed by Chinese divisions. Our leader in turn praised his field commanders for low civilian casualties and collateral damage in war zones. The general of the army reports one last GLA stronghold to be cleansed before peace is achieved. And with NATO now a political afterthought, China has proposed a newly formed alliance with Europe to share military and economic strategies. This is Sang Meiying at our Middle East Bureau.
Although the United States has ordered its mercenaries to hunt down Dr. Thrax, the Global Liberation Army has abandoned efforts to protect the rogue scientist, who is known to be unstable. Senseless American aggression once more fills the sky with smoke and fire. But despite this air power and combined troop strength, China and America cannot hope to break the GLA chain of command. GLA leaders promise a continuing war of attrition against the enemies of freedom. It is a war they will win. This is Omar Ben Ghazali reporting. The desolation here results from a ruthless campaign against a single man, Dr. Thrax, whom the GLA has discredited and denounced. America and China report several GLA leaders have been killed, resulting in a power vacuum with splinter groups vying for control. This is called wishful thinking. Our sources confirm that the GLA is simply reorganizing to more effectively defeat their enemies. From the field, I am Omar Ben Ghazali. Lies persist in the corrupt Western media that the Global Liberation Army now has a fragmented leadership. More reliable reports from the GLA reveal the truth. A new, powerful commander has emerged with the complete support of the people. Furthermore, U.S. intelligence chatter warns major action by the revitalized GLA is imminent. The Americans have strengthened defenses at their international bases. This is a laughable strategy against a strike that could come at any time and any place. From News Headquarters, I am Omar bin Ghazali. The destruction here is overwhelming, as America's Mediterranean fleet sinks and wallows in the sea. This crushing blow by the GLA has led to serious re-evaluation of U.S. presence abroad, with rumors that America will end its war crimes and pull its forces from Europe altogether. That day will mark a GLA victory many have waited for. Live from the Mediterranean, I am Omar bin Ghazali. As the world's last so-called superpower crumbles, the GLA grows stronger, humiliating America by penetrating its own borders and raiding its weapons of mass destruction. Washington rumbles with the cries to abandon European bases and protect the homeland, and the GLA is determined to force this expulsion. The ranks of the GLA swell with countless victims of foreign aggression, and splinter cells unite against our common enemy. This inspiring statement comes from the GLA's Supreme Command. We are everywhere. No walls or boundaries will hold us back. No imperialist army will stand before us until all are free.
Although America's military had the fragmented Global Liberation Army on the run following the last conflict here, terrorist activity remains a clear and present danger. Heavily armed assailants continue their occupation of the Baikonur launch facility in Kazakhstan. The GLA has armed the missiles at Baikonur with newly designed chemical warheads. This arsenal is aimed towards Europe, and evacuations of urban centers have already begun. A previous attempt by the Chinese to retake the facility has failed. With Chinese troops battling local warlords to the east, the United States has been asked to undertake the Baikonur mission. Tensions are high. A failed counterstrike could significantly weaken America's influence and strategic interests in Europe. From Falcon Base Command Center, I'm James Seabury. With the victory at Baikonur and the elimination of a GLA missile threat under their belts, American forces face the task of rebuilding a landscape ravaged by war. Aboard these ships are tons of food and medical supplies en route to a desperate population. Although relief convoys have been harassed by warlords linked to the GLA, the US no longer considers the terrorist organization a serious threat. Nonetheless, a Navy aircraft carrier is in the region to lend air support. Meanwhile, special forces continue their search for GLA caches rumored to include weapons of mass destruction. A terrorist base, destroyed by American forces while defending civilian relief convoys, has yielded documents that provide important clues regarding the GLA's toxin program. Reports suggest that a key research facility, as well as a possible source of funding for the lethal program, have been identified. Although the US commander will not provide confirmation, our network analysts predict that if the intelligence is reliable, America will respond. This is James Seabury, reporting from Falcon Base. Following the assault and capture of a secret GLA lab, no doubt remains that the terrorists are engaged in toxin production. The United States believes that a general, codenamed Dr. Thrax, is running the lethal program. Little is known about this elusive extremist, who has also been charged with war crimes by the World Court. We understand there is intense pressure on American intelligence agencies to trace the funding for Dr. Thrax's research. Only by choking off the cash supplied by covert oil supplies can the US hope to cripple the threat of a terrorist army hoarding weapons of mass destruction. Somewhere in this besieged city, the man known as Dr. Thrax orchestrates his last stand against America. The recent capture of a GLA oil field has cut off the pipeline funding Dr. Thrax and his weapons research. Now, with his enemies closing in, the chemical-wielding warlord threatens to unleash missiles loaded with gamma toxin, among the most deadly nerve agents ever developed. Hoping to avoid an incident even more catastrophic than the Baikonur disaster, the American response is its signature shock and awe campaign. Eliminating Dr. Thrax would surely decimate the GLA's offensive capabilities. Further transmissions may be difficult. This is James Seabury reporting from the field.